great place to be, and it has helped my business tremendously. So I'm super excited to be here and to be a part of this community and to give great information. You can connect with MBM through the community. There's Instagram. We got IG, which YouTube, which I think we're streaming live right now, live in effect, and LinkedIn. So those are some ways to give great information. Why am I
Sorry,
here?
we are streaming verification. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. That's great. Great. Anything is liable to happen when it's live and streaming. So hold on to your seats. That's what makes it fun, right? All right. So we're here. And who am I and who do I serve? I am a fitness nutrition coach. Coach You Fit is my business. It's mostly online. It's online business, basically. I do some private other things as well, but for the sake of time and all that good stuff. I've actually been in the industry for 20 years. Fitness industry. I've helped thousands of women lose weight, gain confidence, whatever you can think of, drop dress sizes. Just overall, my goal is to bring a holistic and a holistic practice to the fitness industry, because we know we can just kind of be like, I want to lose weight, and nothing's wrong with losing weight. I think you should lose weight if you need, but also, can you be healthy and happy doing it, right? So we know people that are eating celery sticks every day and are not happy. So my goal is to have you well-rounded and knowledgeable and educate you. And so that's why we're here today. And as you can see, I've worked with government, City of Long Beach, Frida's. I've done wellness things, wellness initiatives with schools. I've worked with Orange Theory, UC Irvine. I am a certified online trainer. So that's me. And you can find me. My website is www.coachyoufit.com. I'm on IG, Train with Chelsea, follow me. Facebook, Chelsea Cooper, and that is my email there, Train with Chelsea J. So if after you have questions, comments, concerns, please hit me up. This is where I'll be. And then let's do a little house cleaning before we get started. Okay.
Chelsea, real quick.
Yes.
So if you are all meeting Chelsea for the first time and she's coming in here very modest and very appropriate, Chelsea is incredible. And there's something about her energy when she unleashes it, and it's going to happen in this session, that she makes you want to work. Like you start having fun, and next thing you know, you're dancing silly and you're having a good time. And there's a reason why we brought Chelsea in here. So today, like she said, she's got all the credentials, she's got all the goods, but it's about balance, it's about fun, and it's about your health being your wealth. And that's why we show up here as entrepreneurs. We know a lot of great stuff, but we don't do it. And so we carved out this space for you to show up and really do it and have someone like Chelsea encourage you. So I'm just saying that because I know how awesome she is, and she's being all like proper and calm, but she's amazing. So there you go. You're in good hands.
Thanks,
I'll shut up
Tanya.
now.
Appreciate it. I'll pay you later for that. Great. No, I'm just playing. Thank you. And yes, I'm trying to be on my best behavior, but it will not last for long because I'm all about having fun, learning, and just being interactive with you all. Okay. So quick housekeeping. This is a workshop. It will be interactive. Actually, in about 2 minutes, we're going to get up and start moving a little bit. Remember those movement snacks? If you weren't here for that, we're going to do a little movement snack. So it's interactive. So please interact. I'm also going to give you a lot of good information. So I did give you all the, where you can find me at, but you can also find me in the MBM Mastery platform. If you have questions after, please reach out. I'm here for you. And the goal is to learn and have fun at the same time. Okay, so learning can be fun. Fitness and learn about nutrition can be fun. So that is my goal as well, is to let's have a little fun and, chill out, it's all good. All is well. All right. So, by the end of the training, you're going to learn how to read and understand nutrition labels, the role of labels in weight management, making healthier dietary choices to prevent chronic disease. And we're going to I want to give you some practical tips and strategies. So before we get into it, I know you guys are ready. We are going to do a movement snack. Okay. And so what we're going to do, you don't have to do it. But I encourage you to do it because we all need to probably stand up. You may have been sitting all day. You may have been sitting, we're all in different time zones. So if you can stand up, if you can't, that's totally fine. I'm going to show you. And if you're out of the video, this is not where I was going to initially do my presentation. So it's a little different, but it's okay. If you need to stay seated, trust me, I have something for you too. So if you want to stay seated, you're good. Okay. You don't have room, you're like locked in, it's totally okay. All right, we got Jen up, Chingy. All right,
Get
so
up,
this is what
we
we're
got
gonna
up.
do.
Kelly, you're
All
gonna
right.
lift that baby
All
up, right?
tight.
Let's do some baby lifts.
Oh, the baby. Oh, gotta start them early. We gotta
You gotta
start them
start
early.
early. Get some movement. All right.
All right, so I have something for you. Well, maybe because you're holding the baby, you won't, but you can jot it down and do it with us later, okay? So we're gonna go 30 seconds of high knees. So if you are sitting or in a thing, right, we're just driving the knees up, just like this, okay? You can do your shoulders, Kelly, or something, or you just rock back and forth, okay? We know you got the baby, so, all right? Okay, we're gonna go 30 seconds of high knees, then we're gonna go 30 seconds of something else, 30, 30, 2 minutes, we're done. All right, so here we go. Oh, here we go. Christina's ready. Ready, aim, fire. So we're just driving the knees up, right? And breathing. Yep, if you want to add the arms. Okay, we got Kelly up. She like the baby is here. There you go. See, Kelly's working harder than all of us because she actually has something in her arms, right?
Yeah, she added the weights there. She's got the
Yeah,
extra
exactly. Now I feel like I need to find something so Kelly won't outdo me. All right, we got 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, good. Just getting the heart rate up, nothing too crazy. All right, then we're going to go to arms. We've been raising the roof earlier anyway, right? So whatever feels good to you, right? We can go here. There's variations. We can go front. Here, good.
Ooh.
If you're feeling froggy, I'm driving my knees and my arms. Hi.
I keep hitting my
Just
desk.
put a little something to it. There's always music in my head, so I'm dancing to something. We'll have to get music on there next time.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now this one, I added a little harder one today. I must have knew all the people that were wanted to work out. If you can, 2 options. If you're by your chair, you sit in the chair, you stand up. Sit in the chair, stand up, or I got a million ways to do this. You can just, if you're feeling real froggy, you can just hold a squat hold. That's harder. Okay. All right. So good. So we're either sitting in the chair and coming up, or we're holding, or maybe we do a combination. Woo!
Oh.
10 more seconds. Get low. Get low. Oh, it's burning now. Come on. See you,
Christina's
Jen.
disappearing. She's getting low.
She's gonna be sitting down. I see you, Chingy. I'm trying to get everybody's face. 3, 2, 1, and up. All right, last thing. We're just gonna inhale, exhale, arms to the side. Yes, Christina had to take off, and we've literally been going. Okay, so the secret is I don't have my watch today, so I'm just guessing what 30 seconds is. So we're probably going a little longer, but hey, it has been less than 3 minutes for sure. Nice. Unless you're feeling froggy, drive those knees. And we're breathing. Oh, we woke the baby up. I'm sorry, Kel. 5, 4, so cute. 3, 2, and nice work. Clap it up for yourself. Yeah, getting jiggy with it. Our next one, we'll be doing a full workout, so stay tuned for that.
3
Oh, I'm out of
minutes
breath.
though, it gets me every time. Like I didn't think I might not be able to stay the whole time today, but I wanted to jump in because I knew you were going to do some movement, and it blows my mind every time. Like 3 minutes, you guys, that was 3 minutes. And
Yep.
we underestimate it. I think we always think it has to be so big, so we don't do it at all, and then we're at our desks or we're doing whatever we're doing, and like I don't know, that kicked my butt. That's 3 minutes.
And
Might say
it'll
more about me,
add up.
so-
I'm sweating literally. Like I'm in shape. It doesn't matter if you're in shape, not in, like once you start moving. And I always tell movement creates energy. So when you're tired, guess what? You create your own energy. We're waiting for
I'm
something
putting that in
outside
the
of ourselves.
chat.
What'd
Movement
you say?
creates energy. I'm putting that in the chat. Movement creates energy. That's a good one.
Yeah. So if you're feeling a little bit tired, I mean, sometimes you might just really need to go to sleep, right? But if it's the middle of the day, okay, I know I slept, I'm just feeling a little low because I've been sitting. Stand up, do those basic things, make it fun, put on some music and dance. We'll have a dance off next time, okay?
Oh yeah,
All right.
I love it.
We're gonna stay on task here because and I gotta remember we started on the half an hour, so we're good. All right, we're all feeling good and ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, so let's learn about some labels. All right, so the question of the moment is how confident are you in reading and understanding nutrition labels? If one was, what is a food label? 10 is, I'm a master at food labels. I can even just look at a food and hold it in my hand and know the grams. We can say loud, we can use the chat. You can put 1, you can put 5, you can put whatever. Okay, Chinga put 6, 6. Okay, so we got some. Okay, good, 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 good. So this will be good because some of it will be review. I did put in the session, the MBM community, the PDFs. Okay, if you don't have it, totally okay, because I'm gonna show it anyway. But it's something, a resource you can print later or have out. So that'll be yours to have.
Yeah, so there is a worksheet today and it will be with the replay. I think Chelsea
Mhm.
also shared it in the event details. So if you do feel like navigating, but she will show it today. But if you do want to use it, it's there. And I'm not sure if we have it to drop in the chat, but if not, it's in many places for you to use.
Yes. I'm still figuring out the drop chat thing. We're gonna work it out. It's all gonna work out. Okay. So let's talk about what are nutrition labels and why they exist. Okay. Nutrition labels are just basically, I mean, and I'm gonna go through this quickly, but I know there's other people that may be watching this in the replay that may not be as educated as you all, but number 6 is all around. So nutrition labels are basically standardized panels for food on packaged food and beverages. Actually, I had a beverage on the show. So it shows all the nutrition content in the product. And they are essentially tools for helping consumers make informed decisions about their health. So just by array of hands, who really uses those? Like when they go somewhere and they see a box of something, I have some things to, or do you just like, oh, this is my favorite brand, I always get. Okay, Kelly. Okay, cool. Okay, Tanya. I mean, Christina, you guys are both. All right, so it's all good. Work it out. So, and it's for consumer education, right? So nutrition labels teach about the nutrition value of foods and how you eat, but you also have to know how to read them. And that's what we'll be doing in a little bit, okay? And it's also for transparency. These labels clearly show what's in the food. So, you know how sometimes you'll get something, and I'm gonna just grab this, but it's not really a great example, but it'll say healthy. These are pinto beans, okay? Organic pinto beans, but it'll say, maybe it says low fat or, all the fun marketing things, but you got to flip it on the back to really know what's in it. So the transparency isn't on the front. The transparency is on the back, which seems kind of odd if you think about it, but we can talk about that another day. Okay, it's also for health promotion. So by showing important nutrients and ingredients, it encourages healthier eating, or it helps you avoid problems like obesity, or if maybe you have diabetes and you can't have certain sugars or sodium and things like that. And then it's a regulation compliance. So, and this was a good discussion. I'll talk to you all because I'm in America, US. Some of you are in different European cities. So I wanted to see if you guys have any labels or anything that you guys can share. If you have, because I don't know if the labeling is the same, which I'm assuming it's a little bit different, right? Time's like, yeah. Okay, so
I've lived in both spaces and it's
right.
very
So
different.
it's to keep the public safe by providing reliable nutritional information. Okay, so
yeah. One thing I want to throw in here that I love you
yes.
mentioned is the transparency. You're like, it's transparent on the back. And I think since we're all entrepreneurs in here and those of us, those of you watching and joining us, let's put this in terms you understand. The front is the marketing. The front's the marketing. The back is what's actually under the hood, right?
Mhm.
So that's how you go, there's my program. They're like, well, this is how many sessions you really get. That's how it works in there. So it's marketing one side, honesty on the other.
Right, right. So as long as we know that, it's totally fine. We can work with it. All right.
It'd be nice if
So
some coaches had that on their website. It'd be nice too.
exactly. So let's talk about the importance of um, nutrition labels. Which I think oh yeah, we're good. We're good. So it's to help manage weight and overall health, right? And this is like a little thing. We'll go into all this fun detail in a little bit. Okay, so we just kind of touched on that, right? Heart disease, knowing how much saturated fat is in things, right? Sodium. Some people have hypertension. If you already have some things you want to stay away from, right? And not just look on the front that says the marketing section, actually look on the back, right? And it helps with obesity to help it can help, right? Depends on what type of food, but at least you'll be informed of what it is. Okay. And then the next one is to make informed dietary choices to prevent chronic diseases. All right. So again, that's what we're talking about. And then aid in identifying food allergies. Because some people have allergies, peanut allergies. I know some people have fish allergies. All these allergies are popping up, right? So sometimes you need to know, does this have this in it? Because these beans could have wheat. And I could assume that they don't have wheat because it's beans, right? So it's really important for that. If you have any questions, you can hand in. And then let's talk about the consequences of being uninformed, right? Just like, oh, who cares? We don't need. I know what I've been eating since I was 5 years old. It's great, right? But there are health risks. So increased risk of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, other chronic conditions that we talked about. If you're not paying attention to what's in your food, just in general, forget labels, right? Just in general. And potential for nutrient deficiencies or imbalances, because as you'll see in a little bit, when the baby is so cute. When we look at the nutrition label, it'll tell you what's your daily value, right? What you should be getting. Are you not getting enough iron or protein or calcium, right? So you can also, we think about having too much of something, but we can also have not enough. So, and then financial implications. Oops, come on. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. There's also higher healthcare costs, especially in America, due to poor dietary choices, right? And that can be debated on if that's a good and bad thing. Depends on who you ask, the healthcare industry. But for ourselves, we don't want to be, sick. And so also wasting money on foods that are less nutritious or unhealthy. So you might, you might get a higher price thing thinking, oh, this is healthier. Then you look at the lower price and you're like, actually, this is healthier and it's $2 cheaper, right? So sometimes just because of the big brands, that's the main thing. Those big brands, especially out here in America, they're usually the least healthy. But we think, oh, that's the trendy brand, right? Because of marketing, we think it's the best one, but it isn't always. All right, we are scrolling along here. We're about to get started on this. And then this probably could be a 20-minute discussion, but we're just going to keep it to about 3 to 4 minutes, is the role of the government and why we can't solely rely on them. Okay. So there are regulation limits. So government regulates, ensure basic safety and information, but they don't always cover every aspect of nutrition, right? They're just doing enough. The minimum amount of this can be in it. It still could not be healthy, but we're going to allow this amount of something in it. Okay. And then marketing and labeling laws are also lenient, can be lenient, and can allow for misleading health claims and serving sizes, and the government allows it. That's why we have to be, as the consumers, have to be educated. And I think that's really my goal and what I do, whether it's nutrition, food labeling, meal planning, working out, like you have to take control of your health because no one else is looking out for you. Just me and Tanya and Christina. Okay. All right. So your health and well-being. Also food industry influence. If you haven't heard, so some of the food industry has significant influence on label laws and practicing, right? So if the food industry is like, I got 100,000, come on, USDA, make this lenient. They'll be like, okay, they would consider it. And not saying they've ever never done it, which they have, but that not on every circumstance, but that does happen. Okay.
For those of you in North America, I don't actually know if it's here in Europe. I haven't noticed, probably because I don't buy bags of sugar. But in US, sugar will have a big sign that says 0 fat on the front of a pound. I was gonna say a pound of sugar. Like it's like, and that's because in this space, the role of government, someone's like, yeah, that's okay. Go ahead and say that. You can go ahead and do that. That's allowed because it technically,
Right, like it's
it's
true. It's
it's
true,
yeah.
right?
And it's business. And I think we got to remember that yes, there are regulations, but in the end, it's business and it is on to us. And so thank you, Chelsea, because this is big time.
Of course. Yes, yes. And yeah, they could be marketed as healthy, right? And there's a million things right now. I can't think of one, but there's a lot that are marketed as healthy and they are not. Okay.
Well,
So
I don't know if you're going to talk about it, Chelsea, how the word healthy is so vague. Right? Do you have that in here?
I
So
I can you
if you
can
yeah, if you're not addressing it, like just a little bit here too, is like because the other Tanya, Christina put it in the chat there about the grain washing. And this is everywhere. This is in I'm here in Europe, it's in Asia, all the places where I've lived. Greenwashing. And so it will say healthy, but healthy doesn't have a defined definition. So
True.
if I say this is healthy because it has less sugar than a Snickers bar, then I could write that it's healthy, right? Oh yeah, and Chenge says in Europe they do a lot of, this free to hide the other content, like gluten free, but it has all this other stuff. And the other greenwashing I just wanted to bring up is and it gets me, even though I've been in this space and industry, I worked in CPG. This is an area I know really well, and I've been in business a long time, and I am still a quote unquote victim to this. Is the greenwashing is that when that package and label is done pretty and green and it looks healthy and there's cows in the pasture, you're like, well, this
Yeah,
is
they have the
obviously the
farm.
better choice. And then you're like, and because especially I'm in Europe, so the brands are new to me. So sometimes I'm
Mhm.
like, well, this obviously is a good. He's like, that's a terrible one. It's like they just
Mhm.
made it look healthy. And so it's
Mhm.
wild how it can really mean
Yeah.
nothing. So
Yeah, yeah. You'll see like you said, you'll see the farm and the animal, right? And then you look on the back and it's like mainland China. Like, I don't think there's any farms or things where that's made, but I could be wrong. There might be. So definitely. And being in a new place, that's hard, right? Because I've been here, so I know what's what. But that's where the
yeah.
labeling, right? Doesn't matter. As long as you can read the label, if it's in
That's
the
the thing
language
is
you
like
can read.
I could get tricked by that so easily because I'm not in a familiar place. And if I'm not looking at the label, I will miss all those details. So it is really powerful. It seems like basic, right? I think a lot of us have heard this idea, but really doing it. And maybe we've looked at, especially if you've grown up in the US, we probably looked at calories or fat because goodness knows what society has us look at. But all the other things that Chelsea's going to point out, like what else we're looking at, it really is about not just understanding what's there, but translating it to how that affects us because no one else is really helping us figure that out.
Right. We got to be our own advocates for our family and friends, right? And our kids and
Mhm.
all that stuff so they can grow up and be informed. Okay. And then just kind of, you just went right into it, piggybacking on personal responsibility, right? Um, we have to understand the labels and see beyond the marketing and make choices that are beneficial for our health. Okay, at the end of the day. All right, I think those were the major points. We're going to read some labels. I just have to switch the screen really quickly. So let me stop share. I'm trying to get really good at this for a second. Find out what's going on. Are we all getting something from this today?
Yeah, why don't you
Are
guys
we?
drop in the chat like if you've had any aha moments or takeaways already?
Uh-oh. I don't know where you guys are at. While I'm figuring this out. Okay, there we go.
Because always
We getting it together. We getting it together.
I know
Bam,
for me,
look at this.
always this time of the day, I get so tired and I want to have coffee, but I know it's a bad idea because I won't be able to sleep tonight. So I really like that movement snack. That really helped me get my heart rate
Mhm.
up. I forget that
Yeah,
that's an important thing to like get my energy going in is the heart rate. So thanks,
yeah.
coach.
That
Because it
natural
feels,
energy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it feels counterintuitive. You're like, well, I'm tired, so I don't want to move. And I'm going to be honest, full transparency with everyone here and the internet on
In the
YouTube,
world.
the world. I had a rough day yesterday, and I am going on 3 hours and 15 minutes of sleep. I am going to
Mm.
head out soon, but I was surprised. I was like, I'm going to do this. I started moving with you guys. I was like, man, I am awake right now. I'm going to go crash soon, but
Yeah,
it's so clear how easy it is and how much it does, but it's somehow we just have this in our head that it has to be big, and it wasn't.
yeah,
It was so great. So I love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we want to try to get as much energy from ourselves and food, and nothing's wrong with caffeine, but can we get it other ways
Yep.
in addition to that, so great. All right, so let's talk about some food labels. So if you have your label, you can pull it out. If you don't, I have it for you here. So what we're going to do is just kind of go through some of this, and then when we get to the practical part, you can write it down, or you're going to have to help me because there's some math equations. And I did a little key, but then the key is not with me right now, the answer sheet. So we'll be really doing it
Right.
interactively together.
Christina likes numbers, so I'll volunteer her to do that.
Oh, perfect. I just guessed at some of them, so it'll
I
be
like numbers, but not math, Tanya, but thank you.
Aren't you?
good. Okay, so does the US, this is how the back of the things look generally. Not sure if in Europe, but even if it's a little different, it should still have some of these values, or hopefully you can take what I'm telling you and use it. Okay. So if it's a little different, we can chit chat about it. But so up at the very top here where it says 8 servings per container, this is, I feel, where most people go wrong when they grab something, and we'll show that on the worksheet. Okay. So you'll get a bag of something and you'll look on the back and it'll say 230. So you think the bag is 230 when it's really 8 servings, right? Or 3 cups is 230. So the information listed on the nutrition facts label is based on a typical serving size in common measurements like cups, ounces, or pieces. Now, might be some different serving sizes for those in Europe. A package may contain more than 1 serving. So if you're eating more or less than the serving listed, you'll need to multiply or divide the numbers. This is where I was saying when we do the worksheet, you got to do a little math. Have your little calculator out while you're at the store, you know. Okay, so, and then to the right is the calorie check. This is the portion size of amount you eat per serving. So whatever this is, if you had 8 servings, it wouldn't be 230, right? And we're not going to try to do this math because this is going to be hard. 2/3 of the cup is 230. Got it? If you did 8, it would be at least double that, probably triple, right? So that's just good to know. So these are the calories per serving, not per bag. And so then we come here on the right side, we want to limit these things, right? So cholesterol, sodium, fat, added sugars. Okay, eating too much of these increase your risk of, like we were talking about, obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, some cancers, and things like that. On the left side, you want to get more of these. So that dietary fiber, right here, this little bottom part, the vitamin D, the calcium, iron, potassium. Okay, that's kind of the lay of the land. 20% daily value or higher. I'm not sure. The daily values. So do you see right here the daily values? Now, these values are still subject to, because it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So if you're eating less than that, most of us don't need that much. If we're eating less than that, these values change a little bit, right? And so we don't have, you could get super anal and decide what those are, and that's totally fine. But for most people, if you kind of keep in this range and you know this is high, but be aware that this is based on a 2000. If you see at the very bottom right here, after potassium, this daily value tells you how much a nutrient is served, contributes to a daily 2000 calorie diet. Okay. So just know that that percentage is that. Okay. Any questions on that? Anything in the chat? I'll check.
I have a question about sugar, Chelsea. So I was told,
Yes.
like in the early 2000s, I always heard that if you're trying to maintain a healthy diet, you should pick foods with less than 10 grams of sugar per serving. Is that still hold, or does that depend on the food, or is that like super outdated and not a thing anymore?
Good question. If you see that here it has sugars, right? And then it has added sugars, really, so it says added sugars should be limited to 10% of your daily calories. And what I would say is there's really no percentage. Do you see a daily value for sugar here besides the added sugar?
Right. Yeah.
No, right? Because if you don't have sugar, and I know most people think they will not live, but you don't need sugar. Sugar is in natural foods, right? Fruits
Sure.
and vegetables have sugars.
Right.
So we technically need them, but we're talking about the added sugars and Cokes and in our salad dressings and our ketchup, all that stuff we don't really need. So I would just say keep it low. So that's not necessarily not correct, but also there's no daily value for sugar.
Okay.
But let's keep it low because I think in a can of soda, I think it's like somebody just said like 40 teaspoons, tablespoons, something crazy. Yeah, how many?
We got a label.
Yeah, let's go, Kelly. Tell us how much. Does it even have the sugar?
It says total sugar is 39 grams, including 39 grams of added sugar, 78% of your daily.
So
I don't
wait,
wanna
it's
talk about
39
like, right?
grams plus 39?
So it says it's got two lines. It says total sugar is 39 grams. And then underneath it says including 39 grams added sugar, 78% of your daily value.
Okay, so yeah, it is probably 80 or something, right? Because look on this label, it says the 12 grams and then it says 10 added. Right? So 78% of your daily, so you're at your max with that little can, right? So that's good to know. So did that answer your question, Christina? Okay. Anybody else? Thanks, Kelly, for natural sugars are the best. Yes. And that's the thing. People get confused with sugar. Like I'll post something about bananas and things. Aren't bananas high in sugar? Aren't these? I'm like, you have to be concerned about that once you are maybe close to being diabetic and stuff, because now your body can't differ what sugar is what. But if you aren't, your body's going to metabolize a natural sugar from a whole food different than from a soda or from a candy bar or for something added. Does that make sense? Your body's going to, it's like, oh, we know what this is from because it's from a food, not a man-made product, Takis and all that. All right, now I need my mathematicians and all that. I think I have most of it, but this is where we do a little work, okay? And these two things are in the MBM platform. And if I can figure out how to drop it in the chat at some point, I will, but I want us to make sure we go through this. So you can
I dropped it in, so it's in the chat if you guys need it.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So this to the left is okay, answer the following questions by reading the nutrition fact labels for cinnamon graham crackers. Who likes graham crackers? I found some organic ones. I still don't know how good the organic ones are because I still got sugar, but hey, and s'mores and all those good things. So let's talk about these cinnamon graham crackers. So how large is the serving? You can drop it in the chat. It's not that many of us. We can say it if we want. And I'll say it too. How large is the serving size listed on the label? So we're going to find the serving size. Yes. 2. Yep, you kind of smart. Yes, 2 whole crackers, right? Equals a serving. So we got to keep that in mind. All right, next. How many calories are in one whole graham cracker? Ooh, this is where the little adding, subtracting comes in. So if I just wanted one, I don't want two. She breaks them up. Hey, you know, things like that, Kel, breaking them up. And I think that's a great idea, right? Because the mind, right? If I break it up, I picked up 20 pieces as opposed to just cracking two in. So 65. Yes. I like that idea. I'll have to do that myself. Okay, 65, you just want one. Okay, if you put 3 whole graham crackers, if you wanted 3, how many calories are you taking in? Guys are a smart group. Took me about 10 minutes to do this whole thing by myself. 195. Close enough. You're good. Yep, 195. So if you wanted 3, it's 195. All right. This might be a trick one, and we'll go over it, see what the answers are here. What is the main ingredient in this cracker? I feel like I'm the host on Jeopardy. You got 30 seconds. What's the main ingredient? I'll move it here so you could see the whole thing. I'm sorry. Enriched flour, okay. Sugar, enriched flour, okay, good. I like different answers. And this one, so and I think it talks about it later on. Usually the first 4 ingredients are what it is mostly made of. Okay. So on this one, see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. It says enriched flour. Now, the only thing here, it has the parentheses, but they never close the parentheses. So I'm like, usually it's a open and in, right? So it'll say like wheat flour, niacin. I think it stops at like the whole wheat flour, but they didn't close it. So I was like, great. And then it goes to sugar, canola oil. So I've looked on stuff, and the first thing is sugar. What was it? What I was looking at? If it wasn't a yogurt, it must have been a drink or something. I was like, oh no. If the first thing is sugar, I'm good. Okay. So the first 4 things. So I would say the one main thing is enriched flour. And just a side note, enriched flour is basically, they take whole wheat, right? You see that they take a whole wheat grain. It's full of all this nutrients. They strip it in some process. Then they put niacin and iron. So they take out the nutrients and then they put man-made nutrients back in. And so now the nutrients are actually less. And I think they do that because it preserves it longer. I am not really sure, but it's definitely not for our health. So every time I see enriched flour, I try to stay away from it. If it says flour or wheat, at least we know it's whole wheat, right? The wheat stalk, they churned it. But when it says enriched, that means they stripped it of all the nutrients and then put a couple of nutrients back in. All right. All right. So let's go on to number 5. Are we getting things out of this? Yes, it becomes highly processed. First 4 things. Yep. I always remember that. Ooh, look, I'm getting good information on the chat, even if they are gluten intolerant. Yes. Okay. How many whole graham crackers? Oh, this is the one I think I'm at. This is all my math thinkers, and then the ones that aren't, we'll just wait for them to do the math, okay? I guessed on this one. How many whole graham crackers could a 2,000 calorie diet need to obtain 100% of daily value for fiber? So we know fiber right here for 2 servings whole crackers is 1 gram or 4% of your daily value. So how many crackers will we need to eat to obtain 100% of the daily value? I attempted to do this math, and I think I came up with like, I don't know, I think I just guessed and said 20 crackers. Let's see. Anybody know? Because I'll just go with 20, but I see us doing some math, so we'll let the mathers. Okay, I think she can get 25 right. I tried to do it like 20 times 4%. Then I was like, wait, that's 2 crackers. I was like, oh no. I'm gonna have to let the engineers do that. So I would say 2025. Anybody else have a crack? I know, I'm like, who thought of this thing? We were having a good time until this math equation came up, and now I'm not feeling so well about myself. But we'll go in between 20 and 25. Okay. So the question is, would this be a healthy way to get 100% of your daily vitamins? No, right? And for various reasons, right? You're still not getting enough. Then you how much sugars, right? You would have to do the sugars. Everything has to be added to it. So yeah, and I'll figure out that one later. Okay, let's get down to some more fun things. How many, and I'll have to go back up. How many grams of added sugar are in one of the graham crackers? How many added sugars is in one of the graham crackers? Would you just cut it in half? So it would be 4. Yeah. I know a little something. I know a little. I know those math days paid off a little bit. All right. So we say 4 if we had 1. And so that's things that I don't even really think about, right? I usually just think about the calories and I'll look at the thing like 2 crackers. Okay, I'm just going to have 1, but I don't really think about, okay, if I have 1, I know I'm splitting this in half, right? Or if I have 3 or 4, if we have 4 crackers, right, we can easily eat those 4. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got to multiply by 2, and then you got to know you're doubling those things. Okay, let's see what's next. And we talked about this a little bit. Ingredients are listed by weight, with the ingredient having the most listed first. Is there more whole grain flour or sugar in these crackers? So here's the little thing. We'll make it a little bigger. Is there more whole grain or sugar? Where's the whole grain at? Oh, right there. Whole grain. Yep. Yep, because a whole grain is, everybody got it. I love it. Yep, right here, whole grain wheat, and then there's sugar. So they kind of go by the weight, but I just always say the first 4 things, right? However they figure it out, we know that that's what's in it. Let's see. Whole grain. Food packages. Oh, this is a good thing to know. This is US, and at the end, I think we'll have time for some questions because we'll end before the time, which is great. I like to discuss whatever. In the US, food packages can make claims based on the nutrients the food contains. So what claims can the graham cracker package make about fat? Use the table below to help determine the answer. So let's go up here to fat, and then we'll look and see how much fat is in it. Then we'll look at the little thing here. So what's our fat here? So we have total fat is 3.5 grams. Let me write that down so I'll remember when we go back down. And then our saturated fat is 0.5 grams, and there's no trans fat. Okay. 0. So then let's go down here. Can it claim to be fat-free? To be fat-free, it has to be less than 0.5, and it has 3.5. So no, right? Can it claim to have 0 trans fats? Yeah, right, because it actually has 0. But do you see that if it's less, if it was 0.5, it could still say 0 trans fat. Okay, so yeah. And then, so can it say it's low fat? No, it can't, right? Because it's 3.5, right? You have to have 3 grams or less. All right. And then can it say cholesterol free? Less than 2 milligrams of cholesterol and 2 grams of saturated fat. Let's see. What's the cholesterol? So 0 cholesterol and less than 2 grams of saturated fat. So we can say that. So remember we were talking about earlier how some of the federal things allow things with the trans fats and different things like that to actually be in it, or to say low fat, you know, or no fat, but it still could actually have those things. Okay, so last one. You guys are doing great. You guys all are winning money on Jeopardy today. You guys are all going to come away with so much information and knowledge. Okay, people with food allergies can identify if a food contains potential allergens. That's what we talked about. What allergen do the graham crackers contain? So we go to the ingredients, and then it always usually shows where it says contain. That's what it is, right? So yep, wheat and soy. So if you have a gluten allergy or soy or whatever, you know that has that in there, which I think is which is a good thing. All right. Like I said, this is the worksheet, right? That told us that we didn't know how to do math. But this top one, I like. You can, she dropped in the chat. Just you can use it or have an idea, even if it's not exactly how your labels look in the country you're in. I'm going to stop the share. I can see all your faces live in effect. Woo-woo. Do we have any questions or any takeaways we want to share? I would love to hear that. We are in front of time, which I like as well. Do you have anything?
Ellie, you had a really good comment, and I was really curious to this question too. She said, getting enough protein has been the hardest. Stuff that is high in protein kills my other numbers. It messes up my carbs and my calories. What would you say to that? I want to know the answer to that too.
It depends on what proteins you are eating, right? Because there's plant proteins, there's meat proteins, there's, what type of you could just get
I eat a lot of
down.
meat. Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry, I didn't mean to. I eat a lot of meat, but I've also learned like cottage cheese, yogurts, things like that. But I cannot, like, I'm supposed to have 107 grams of protein every day, and I cannot hit it with only 1,700 calories. Like, I'm like, well, we just killed carbs and the sugar's gone too. But like, I hit the protein today.
Right. I think you will have to like drop something down, right? You'll have to drop the sugar or something, because what I would recommend is a lot of my clients, I'll say, do you want to drink your calories or do you want to eat them? Right? So you might have to be mindful of calories, besides water, everything else, right? People go, or even orange juices and
Yeah.
sodas and coffees and stuff. So those things you might say, okay, if I'm really trying to get my protein and some of those things are high in calorie and sugar, oh, if I knock that out, then I probably can actually hit my protein goal, right? Or my snacks. It's always sort of a give and take, right? So that's probably there's probably some other things. I have my clients do little food logs and stuff. So then we look at like, okay, these things you can probably either take out, or even if you cut it in half, you still could probably closely make your protein, And sometimes protein we do need protein, and it depends on how active we are as well. You do need it, but sometimes, especially in America, it's like protein. And it's like protein overload sometimes. So, and you can get protein from legumes. Let me see what protein. Oh, these pinto beans have 7 grams, right? Yep, they have 7 grams. So sometimes you don't have to always get them from meat. And so then a half a cup is 100 calories on this. No saturated fat. There you go, 7. So, and that's 7. So you have 107 to go. You have 100 to go after that. So hopefully that answered the question. Yes, tracking your food. I was going to say that. I have my clients do that, and it's always in a resistance, because I think once you put it pen to paper, or even if you put it on, it's like, this is real. I really have 4 bags of Cheetos before I go to bed. Whatever, right? And I always tell them, like, I'm not here to like judge you, but you got to see it first, right? With our business plans, we got to write out the thing, our schedule, right? Dang, I sleep all day. No wonder I can't get these clients. Starts, actually waking up and doing work. But once it's there, then you're like, okay, now I can navigate where I'm having these issues. And it could just be little things. People think you got to throw out your pantry and clear out the thing. It's like, you don't have to do extreme things. Sometimes it's just small things that add up over time. So yeah, good question. Bring them on. Jen, what did you learn? Am I saying your name right, Jen?
Yeah, I'm kind of new to all of those nutrition stuff. Therefore, I'm just like, well, catching things up. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. So I don't have so many questions, but yeah, it's very helpful.
Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I know it can be overwhelming. I've been doing this for so long that I'm just like, can do it in my sleep. That's why I'm always really ask the questions. If I don't know, I'll make it up. I'm just joking. But Chinge, what'd you get out of it today? Seen you.
I really like the comment on like that the main ingredients are the first four on the list. I think that's very helpful because I mean, like obviously I cannot spend 3 hours just checking at labels at the supermarket. So I think it's a very good rule of thumb.
I like that too. Yeah, because and a lot of if you got to read 800 things, do you think you probably should get that?
Right.
If there's 800 ingredients, and I'm being extra because that's just me, right? There's even more than 10 sometimes. It's like, and then I always tell my clients, yes, I want you to learn food labels. But do you know what doesn't have labels on it in the grocery store?
Fruits and veggies.
Unless, well, if you do the frozen vegetables, right, they'll have it on there. But I say, yes, I mean, you got to buy things canned and packaged, but like, let's move toward more things that are alive and fresh as much as we can. Of course, we all have things that, like, please, it's not like realistic. But if we can move more to that than pouring everything out of a can or a package, that right there is going to reduce a lot of it because they don't have that because it's natural. How many apples are you going to eat? I think I can eat two, maybe one big one. I'm like, oh, I'm full, right? I love kale, but I only can eat so much kale. I'm going to get full because it's nutrient dense, right? Beans, legumes. So yeah, so definitely learn the labels, but the little side note is try to do more fruits, vegetables, natural things. That's always going to help. Especially as entrepreneurs, we need to have snacks. We talked about that in the last one, right? Having snacks available, good snacks. In the US, we do Uber Eats and we go places, we can just call up places, which is totally fine, but we do want to be trying to be mindful and plan ahead. Okay. So I think that's all I had for today. You guys were awesome. I hope you learned some things. Like I said, the information is in the chat. You can contact me if you have any questions. I know Jean, she said she's new to all this nutrition thing. So we got to be healthy for a long time, right? That's the main thing. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chelsea. This was awesome. This is my first session, so I'll be back to the next one because this is really good.
all right, you guys are released into the universe.
Have a great day, guys. We'll put the replay up in the community, and the worksheet is in the event if you want to grab it there, and we'll put it in the replay too.
And I'll see you guys at the next Nourish and Flourish. All right. Take care of yourselves.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Guys.
Bye bye.